So let's make this simple. I say name, you say Scott Calvin. Name.
Chris Kringle.
Name.
Sinterklaas.
Name.
Père Noël. Babo Natale. Pères Nicole.
Papa Gijo.
Okay, Calvin. Maybe a couple hours in the
GeekVerse.
will change your mind.
Oh, hello,
Couple
ladies and
hours.
gentlemen. Welcome to GeekVerse. Oh no, episode 514. I think we are today. Special newscast. We are joined by myself. I am the Little Merman, Kirklin Patzer, and I'm joined by.
I am the one who's in school for evil, Jessica.
I am the page 47 Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you couldn't guess by all three of our names, we are here to talk about a bunch of different things. We got a big main juicy topic and a plethora of trailers to break down. So that's going to be super, super fun. Before we get into that, some plugs to get out of the way. First of all, you can, actually, I should slow down and just say what we've been cooking in the crock pot lately, in the pressure cooker. We had a crazy weekend of D23 news, lots and lots of, maybe I shouldn't say that. Some trailers dropped, some really exciting drops. I can't speak right now. Some exciting trailers dropped, some exciting news dropped. Certain mutants definitely didn't arrive. Certain Fantastic Four stick people didn't arrive. But you know what? We had a fun time covering that. It's on all of our all the feeds that are relevant. You know, we have the main feed. I think that newscast would be on the news feed as well. Trailers, reviews. We got She-Hulk, Rings of Power, House of the Dragon. Travis actually joined for the first time. Me and Taylor have been covering those ones, but Travis joined us for episode. My gosh, what even was that, Taylor? Number 4, thank you. So that was lots of fun. I believe you guys just did a Barbarian review. I don't know too much about that movie other than Taylor Field absolutely loved it, so that's fantastic. And yeah, just so much content. I know Dylan's cooking up side quests weekly. Check us out on our GeekVerse. I mean, I should give it to Taylor. He knows all the plugs like a madman. Where can they find us, Taylor, for all this good juicy stuff?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse on our Facebook.
That is gorgeous, Taylor. God, you're so good at that. More importantly, go check us out on Patreon as well, where you can get all of our content ad-free, exclusive, early. There we have different tiers. We do a tier system, so you know, just join the $1 tier and you get everything ad-free. Sorry, $5 tier. You get everything ad-free. Don't want to false advertise there. And then at our highest tier, we have our Patreon producers, which is Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Molly Biggs, Joshua Wright. I actually got your name right, Josh. Last time, I totally said it wrong, so I apologize. But I wrote in my notes to say it properly this time around. So big shouts out to all of you fine people. They are the ones, they're the real MVPs. They're keeping the lights on, supporting us at the highest tier. And yeah, they're fabulous people, and we love to have them on our Patreon. So go check out that stuff. Go check us out on Manscaped, where you can get 20% off if you use the promo code GVPOD. There you get free shipping, internationally, everywhere that you are in the world. It doesn't say any exceptions either. So I would imagine even if you're in like some random island somewhere, they're getting you your GV package. So if you use GVPod, go use it for some good times. And yeah, with that, I not a lot of housekeeping, so I think we're ready to just jump right into the episode here. Our main topic today is to do with the X-Men. If you're a big X-Men fan, I don't think this will be some good news for you today, because apparently, now this wasn't said out of the Feige's mouth himself. This was supposedly, and this is Travis's notes. So if this is out to lunch, we know to blame to this one. An A-tier scooper, according to Travis Snell, discussed that, X-Men MCU film not happening anytime soon. Taylor Field, what is that? What like, without getting too deep into this, like, what's your thoughts on like an X-Men in your mind before you hear this, where you're like, oh, it's coming out like next year? Like, I know we don't have any cast for this, but like we're like, especially, you know, if you've been watching Miss Marvel, some little hint at some possible mutations or something in the MCU. So I don't know. For myself, I thought maybe we were getting close. What do you think? You think we were getting close?
I thought we were getting close. I feel like with all the little things that they were dropping recently, it just kind of made me think, hey, we're probably going to be getting some of this stuff soon. But apparently that's not the case, because even though they stacked on like that little Easter egg in Miss Marvel, and then they stacked on Multiverse of Madness, we have none other than Mr. Xavier wheeling about in there, or I guess hovering about. So it's yeah, it's tricky. And I know that we did our predictions, or maybe it wasn't really predictions, but we kind of like did this whole tier system of like when we think we're going to have this content this year. And I don't remember how or what we did, or when we picked like the first X-Men movie, what year it was, but it also depends too. It's circumstantial, because if they're saying not anytime soon, that could mean like 2 years max. I don't think we're going to get any X-Men stuff, now that I look at it, in phase 5 or 6, obviously, because they've mapped that all out. I think the X-Men stuff will come out after that, and phase 5 and 6 concludes in 2024, 2025, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. But there is still some things that aren't like announced, right? I mean, apparently, according to this scooper, we're not getting it anytime soon. So I guess that would push it out beyond phases 5 and 6. But I definitely, for phase 6, there is still some empty slots on that big Feige master plan chart thing. And good thing for you, Taylor, and myself, actually, because I forgot a lot what was on that list. We're actually going to be talking about that tomorrow, so it will be fresh in your mind.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Be interesting to hear what exactly this scooper has gotten correct before as a A-tier scooper, just to see kind of that relevance of how correct they generally are.
And unfortunately, I don't have the brain of Travis Snell. He'll be like, "Oh, this person got this right," and like back in 1992, yeah, he gets this specific thing. It's like I don't know. I just go by what he wrote for me, and yeah. So A tier, that's pretty high though, honestly. Like that's probably.
S, right?
I mean, he's done this so many times, Travis, where he'll like list what kind of, maybe that should be like a bread and butter topic someday, is just like actually doing like a tier list of what the different tiers mean. I know he said it by word, but I'm a visual guy. I like to see, you bring up like tier maker, and then you can do all that on there. There you go, Travis. Now we just made you some more work to do for us, but yeah, no, because he didn't list, at least for me, what specifically this person is, or like the source or anything like that. So again, we're just going off Travis's words here. Tomorrow it's going to be announced like X-Men film coming out. Yeah. He gives himself an A tier rating. That'd be pretty. That'd be up his role. He's an egotistic person. Emily's words, not mine. Go check out the Significant Others cast on Patreon. Yeah, Jessica, what about you? Are you like an X-Men fan? I probably asked you about this at one point in time.
We have S-Bubs in here, kind of trying to take over Travis's position.
Oh, there we go. Boris Kitt said that's a made-up name. Boris Kitt said that stuff about the X-Men. He writes for the Hollywood Reporter. I apologize, Boris. I'm just joking. There you go, Hollywood Reporter. That's a big. What would you even business? I guess magazine, something like that.
Official corporation, very reliable.
Thank you.
On
yes.
Content.
No giant freaking robot. Yes, we have our guy in the chat, S-Bubs. Thank you, S-Bubs. So yeah, there you go. Pretty official. But yeah,
so,
Jessica, back to you.
I'm wondering how this will play out as far as, obviously there's Deadpool, right, who kind of comes into this MCU/X-Men universe as well. Wonder if that's going to be part of why they're pushing it off, just trying to see how that will all incorporate. But I am actually kind of surprised, because from what I knew anyway, it sounded like this MCU X-Men was happening somewhat soonish. So this actually does surprise me. But in a way, look at all the other stuff that we have coming out, all these other trailers we have to discuss, and it's basically all Disney, right? There's so much that they're pumping out that it almost makes sense that they got to put something on the back burner.
Yeah, it's strange to me hearing just like it's not happening anytime soon, because I mean, one, that's not a specific time, so that could mean not this year, that could mean not 10 years from now, right? But also, like, I feel like we've just been like, they've been planting those seeds for mutants and like getting us kind of used to that topic. Now I could totally see it that because they've just laid some breadcrumbs, maybe they want to like lay out some full-on crackers, before we jump into the mutants, like actually have like multiple movies and TV shows and like actually referencing it to the point that like it's a big build-up to where we get the first thing. But I don't know. It's like, does this mean that we're not getting like any mutants or anything like this, or is this just like a specific MCU big Avengers type like movie thing, right?
That was my thought too.
Yeah.
From what Travis wrote, it doesn't necessarily we're not getting anything mutant. Like we could very well be getting a Disney Plus show that sets up some background first.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, apologize if you haven't seen Miss Marvel yet, but it's hinted that our main character there is some sort of mutant. So they're definitely getting us ready for it. I don't know. Like, I think when I hear this news, my worst thought is like, okay, this is very far away, and are we just not really going to get answers to this up until that point? And I don't know. Maybe that's a false prediction, because I imagine if they're already talking about, I mean, we had Xavier in there too, right? Like we had like the leader of the X-Men in a movie already. So it just really felt like we were ramping up the pace to the point that we were gonna get there pretty darn quick.
It's worth mentioning as well that an X-Men MCU film. So as per, if we want to go all fancy with our word use here, it's saying like an X-Men
going lawyer
film.
on me.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean, because we're getting Deadpool 3, that could be labeled as like a X-Men like film. That's going to be coming at some point, people are anticipating. And then even then, it doesn't mean that we're not going to see X-Men appearing in the MCU. So you could see a Wolverine drop in Phase 5 or 6 in another MCU project, like we saw with Xavier randomly dropping up in Multiverse of Madness, or now like Miss Marvel. There was that little thing going in there. So I think it's very plausible that even though we're not getting an X-Men film, it does not dismiss the fact that we're going to get X-Men associated characters popping up in the MCU. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Even S-Bubs threw that in the chat. Maybe no X-Men movie anytime soon, but we'll get lots of mutants before then. Like Anadarmus S-Bubs, yeah, I remember he gave out that prediction a while ago, and I'm in that camp.
Anadarmus as an X-Men character?
Yeah, I think it was like a tweet he had a while back. It was like, Anadarmus will be an X-Men, or my gosh, will be a mutant in the MCU. You heard it here first, and that was where I heard it here first. So I'm giving credit where credit's due.
Because MCU, would this be part of the like Marvel phase announcements? Was this not announced, this movie, somewhere in a lineup somewhere?
Oh, like on like their big like visual thing?
Their timeline where
No,
it's like this
it
movie
wasn't.
here and here.
But like I was telling Taylor, there was like some projects, like they have the next two Avengers movies on there, but there is still some empty slots on there. So that's where, I mean, for myself, I was kind of just like, oh, we're going to be getting some X-Men things slid into one of these slots. But
well, we got one of this, right? You know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Just saying, false advertising. That's not actually a real Deadpool release. It's fake. I made it.
It looks
as a
pretty
joke.
photoshopped. It's pretty good job, but out of everything there.
But
even
that aside,
to me, that just, it looks so weird. But I know it's official.
But you're right. Like you can see, okay, fall 2024, two fall 2024 projects, winter 2024, winter 2025, spring, and then summer. So yeah, you're right. There are definitely a few slots going into that last Avengers movie that are clearly wide open. So, and still no Fantastic Four news.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, and like, I don't know. Any predictions on like when we're gonna be getting, I don't know, any word on this? Because this is a big deal, right? Like we have the Avengers movies, which are obviously a big team up clash movie. In my eyes, I would imagine the X-Men movie would be honestly on that same caliber, just with how many moving parts we have in there. Like there's so many superheroes that are mutants, and like obviously, you know, say what you will about the Fox movies, like they had a lot of characters in them, like a lot of different superpowers. So I would put them on that caliber, and I don't know, I'm not gonna hold my breath for any announcements or anything like that, but still I'm gonna be pretty bummed if like in the next, like, are we just not going to get any talk for like the next few years? Like, I would be pretty shocked if we go 2 years without anything like that. Even that seems weird. Like, I would like to say within the year we're going to be getting Feige up there with the X-Men hat, just ready to go. But I don't know after this.
I would
Why
think
would
at
you
least a
have
year.
at
Sorry, go
least a
ahead.
year from Taylor? I'm just thinking, why would you bring it up with Miss Marvel? And obviously, Deadpool's going to have talks of it too. And then
Yeah.
just kind of be like, well, here's a teaser. We'll give it to you in 2 years, guys.
And that's where, like S Bubs was saying, Taylor was even saying, like, I definitely believe that it will be sprinkled, like some mutants here and there, and maybe they just like, I don't know, there's some random show that they break down like the science on like what's going on with the mutants, like just giving us some more prep maybe, but like so that we're really we'll know what mutants are before we even see them on screen. Because I think even like the first X-Men movie, if it didn't have it, it's a misstep. But I would imagine in that first X-Men movie, like they had like an explanation of like what it is. So if we get to the movie and a lot of that groundwork's already done, does it allow us to just spend more screen time diving into the story points, some character stuff? Maybe, but at the same time, I doubt you would have everyone that caught every MCU project up until that point, so you still have to look out for the lowest common denominator in that aspect. I'm hoping, you know what I'm hoping, what it is? I'm hoping that when the X-Men eventually come, they are as big of a deal as I'm hoping they are to be, like just like this range, and there's going to be so many new superheroes with like so many different powers. I'm hoping that's what it is, and like they're really just wanting to cross every T, dot every I, and just have it as good as it can be. But who knows? Maybe they're just like, X-Men. Fuck, I guess we got to make that. Someone slipped and mentioned in Miss Marvel. Oh no, now we actually have to do this. Oh no. No, I doubt that's the case.
Do you think that doing what you're talking about, though, just going from 0 to 100 will feel kind of like the DC move with
Like
that?
Justice League. and
Yeah, just there's no
being super
descriptions, just
abrupt.
yeah,
Yeah.
like what is going on. Kind of need
For-
to build up to that.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, we're in the situation that we already have like 30 plus projects that like, even if there's not a lot of bleed up to the X-Men stuff, we at least have this foundation of what the world is. So I don't think it'll ever be that bad. But yeah, that's a hope though. Obviously I'm not in those talks. I don't know for sure how clean of a delivery it'll be if they do not, like I said, put in that groundwork and get people ready for the big X-Men event to happen. S-Bubs in the chat. Took 14 years for the leader tease to pay off. So who knows what'll happen. I think they completely forgot about that leader tease, S-Bubs. And then someone, maybe Feige late at night, like 2 years ago, was watching Hulk and like, fuck, what a great movie this is. Oh, I wish we had Edward Norton back. And then he's just like, oh, the leader? Oh, they never did anything with that guy. Was Feige a producer on that one? Do you know, Taylor, off the top of your head?
No, if I remember correctly, I believe, because Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 1 were before that, right?
Like which one? The Edward Norton one or the other one?
Oh shit, he did produce it? No way.
Okay. Then he is a mastermind. He has been planning this.
God. Wow, yeah, that was a long he bottled that up in his pocket for a long time.
I bet they're at like the Endgame conference and everyone's going crazy over this big Endgame event. And he's like, they don't even know that I'm bringing the leader back right
Oh,
now.
yeah,
Feige's like
yeah.
laughing at himself. He's like,
He knew it was gonna happen. I can't believe he produced that. That just is a cherry on top for this. Oh my god.
back when he had I don't know, long. I don't even. I was gonna say back when he had hair, but I think he still has hair. I just assume he doesn't. 'Cause
His
he's
Google
always wearing
pic, he
hats.
doesn't have hair in it then, so
S-Bubs. Tony Stark has a cameo in Incredible Hulk, so Feige definitely produced it. Is that
That's
real?
true. Yeah,
Does
there
it a
is-
cameo?
he
It's like
has
an
a
end credit
cameo.
thing.
End credit, yeah. Incredible Hulk is basically the blueprint for the MCU. I mean,
Yeah.
it basically sets up everything. That and Thor: Dark World are both blueprints for the whole planning.
I agree. Hey, I'm not Dylan. I'm not shitting on that movie. I'm not as high on it as you two, and you two. I mean, not you and Jessica. I don't know how Jessica feels about the Incredible Hulk. Actually, I know you're an Edward Norton fan, so you probably like it.
I went to rewatch it recently because I had a high memory of it, and
Yeah.
I never actually finished it. I was like, ooh, I'm kind of not gonna.
You didn't get to the leader reveal. You're not gonna know what's going on with this guy coming back. You probably don't even know what the hell we're talking about.
I do not actually.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna leave this one.
That's fair.
Obviously, it's been 14 years, so it doesn't need to be fresh in my mind.
Yeah, that's fair. I hope they do some sort of callback with that character, because even when like he came back and it was a big announcement on like the D23 day, I had seen Incredible Hulk this year, and I was like, I don't fucking know who this guy is. My God.
Was
Anything
there,
else? Oh, sorry.
This is super off topic. Was there ever like when we switched to Ruffalo, Hopefully that's proper last name.
You got
Fablemans.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you got it.
Did they just pretend like it's the same Hulk, or is it just
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
never
100%.
any?
In Avengers, they showed actual like snippets of like the Incredible Hulk fight scenes and stuff like that in Avengers Tower, or I guess sorry, in Tony Stark's Stark Tower when he's looking up the Avengers members and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
And I mean, hey, you might there's a chance you might still see Edward Norton back, right? Now that we're in multiverse of chaos. I don't want to say madness. That's attached into a movie. We're just in this chaos realm of multiverse. So that would be fantastic. I was really hoping that we would get that in Multiverse of Madness. Apologies if you haven't seen that movie yet. He's not in it.
That's why they got to push mutants, because they're using all their budget to bring back Edward Norton.
Like this movie is ready to go like next year, but we gotta just deep fake Edward Norton and all these. It's like a super edition of Multiverse of Madness. You know, the big fun edition. What's it actually called, Taylor? The super fun edition
the
or the more fun edition? The more fun edition. I know you already told me about it, but just remind me again. How much more fun was it? Was it like?
I thought it was fantastic. Again, I know Travis was just shitting all over the fact, like, oh, it's not really
How
like,
many scenes?
It's not that much more scenes. It's not worth it in the theater and stuff like that. You know what? And people are saying it's a cop out. It's all for money, all that jazz. But you know what? At the end of the day, when I was watching in the theaters and get to re-experience like all these fun scenes and moments, having the extra stuff sprinkled in there, it just made it even more better. Again, the Spider-Man dialogue between all three Peter Parkers was just fabulous.
So it was more of that. Is that how it
a
worked?
lot more. They they talked
Okay.
a lot more about their
Their web fluid.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic.
Their
Rip
watches.
audio listeners, yeah. All right, yeah. That's anything else on MCU X-Men? No. Going once, going twice. All right, we're gonna mosey on over to the next topic, but before we get there, we're gonna take a quick ad break. So we will be right back. And we are back. So we have, as I said beforehand, we had a plethora. Oh, actually, I apologize, S-Bubs. I saw your comment in the chat, and I forgot to bring it up in our last topic. So I'll make sure to do some editing magic so it's in the last topic. Do you think there'll be a flashback to Incredible Hulk in Captain America: New World Order? I guess it's not so tied to what we were talking about, but Taylor, you go first.
A flashback, eh?
Because what would be the tie there? Like just Hulk and
I don't
dealing with
think
the rest of the Avengers?
I don't think you get like a necessary like flashback like we're expecting, like a rehash scene or anything. I think you get a flashback of the leader like sneaking his way out of the college building that he got like immediately after he got like his thing put in there, and then maybe we'll get like a sequence of like Smeagol in the caves, just like his transformation, like tripping out and stuff like that, and kind of leading into.
I love a
him
trip
becoming
out
who he is.
scene in a cave
Oh, yeah.
specifically.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I think we'll get flashbacks, but in the sense of his origin.
Yeah. You're not going to just see like Edward Norton supposed to be like Bruce Banner and they
That'd be
just
so
don't talk
weird.
about it at all. I would love to see that. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for answering that, because I definitely did not see the tie there. I mean, S-Bubs cleared it up, the leaders in the New World Order. So there you go. And we just covered that in D23. It's surprise. My goldfish brain, it doesn't do me too well. Anyways, we're talking about trailers now, specifically Disney variety. So anyone in particular you guys want to start with talking about? I'm going to take it away. I'm going to start us off with a Little Mermaid. I am a Little Merman today. I really, really, really like Little Mermaid. I'm not like I'm not going to put in that love category, but I really like it. I really like Ariel. I really like Flounder. I just like the whole side characters, and it's just a fun story. I did not freak out the way that a lot of terrible people did to see this trailer. I honestly, I love this first little sneak peek. It took me to that world. I totally am just like, she didn't say a lot of words. She just sang. But to me, like this is a perfect Ariel. At least like her hitting those pitches, because it's hard to achieve. I've tried to shower sing and try and match those songs. Can't quite do it, but she's really great, and I just really loved what this trailer was. It was very mysterious and just showcased our lead. And for me, that's a perfect teaser trailer. Anyone next? Anyone?
Have at it, Jessica.
I I had no problem with the actor they chose. I don't understand. This has been a thing in a couple of different senses in the last couple of years, and it's a made-up character. We do not have legitimate mermaids, so like Kirklin said, the fact that she can sing and hit these notes is great. I would have liked to have seen some more kind of those side characters, like you said, even just kind of in the background, have Flounder swimming around or things like that. But it definitely gave you that feel for it. And I do like that, you kind of have to wonder how the underwater sequences are going to look in a real live thing. Disney's great with lions and bears, all those kind of above ground air breathing creatures, but having her hair actually flowing in the background and having that underwater look was it looked better than I kind of expected it to going into it, and I am excited to watch the next trailer. I've heard, what was it, rumors or reports that some of the songs are different or new songs are changed, and I'm not sure how I feel about that because I am a sucker for those original
classics.
pieces. Yeah. But
did they do that for? Sorry to cut you off, but did they do that for like Lion King? Do you know? Did they remake
I don't
the
recall
songs?
that
Or
in
did they...
Lion King. Aladdin, they added new songs to Aladdin.
New like originals. I know they like redid some of the classics.
They redid the classics, and then they had some like new original ones in there. So
they had at least one new original in Lion King. Beyonce did a song
Nice.
for it.
She wasn't in the original? Are you sure?
pretty sure.
Yeah. Sorry, Jessica.
I think that was the one part when I was watching it when you start getting this Beyonce song in the middle of it, and I'm just like, what the? I don't want this.
Takes you out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, S-Bubs. I think it's 5 new songs from Lin-Manuel Miranda. Anybody know who that is? Before S-Bubs just pops in the chat and answers that question for me.
I've never heard of Lin before. I feel embarrassed.
No. Apologies, Lin. She's probably amazing. Yeah, I would imagine.
What's your thoughts, Taylor?
Well, I love Aladdin. That is my favorite live action Disney movie, and Is
that what trailer you watched?
Yeah, I just
We're just talking about how awesome Aladdin is.
It's just that's my go-to, and I don't mind the other iterations. I don't mind Lion King. It makes me cry. We don't need a Mufasa movie though. I don't mind. What was the other one? Cinderella. I liked Cinderella, but it's definitely a lower kind of tier for me. When we get to Little Mermaid is definitely something that's very nostalgic for me, because when I was little, and my sister, she was 5 years older than me, she had all the Disney Princess VHSs. So that's why I absolutely love a lot of these, because she would always put them on and I would always watch them. And I love just the characters, the settings, and just the animation. So it all hold it very dear to my heart when they do new iterations for these films. And Little Mermaid is definitely something very close. I have to say the beginning part of this trailer and everything was just super, super selling me. I was so into it. Just look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Just the way they were playing with that instrumental in the background, just looking at the world was so cool. Seeing Ariel and Flounder, I was super, super excited. I think it's going to be fantastic. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm an adult now, but the moment we see her start singing under the water, my brain is this doesn't if I did that, I'd be drowning in the water. It wouldn't make sense. So I can't compute someone speaking perfect, audible chords with their vocal box and underwater. My brain was.
She's a fish. She is
I know, and it just wasn't computing.
Probably some gills somewhere, I would imagine.
I'm thinking that it's just my brain couldn't connect the dots on that. So that's probably my only real con. The other thing, it was just trying to really
It's a con.
I didn't know that was gonna be a con. Yeah, I didn't know that was gonna be a con.
I know, my brain just couldn't compute it. The only other thing too, I guess,
What do you think of Aquaman? What was your thoughts on Aquaman? You're just I'm
Aquaman,
liking this movie, but this is weird.
I've never actually seen Aquaman again since I saw it in theaters, and even then, I wasn't super, super sold on Aquaman. But I think because they were going into areas that were like little like dry spots underwater. It's like it kind
Oh,
of
I forgot about that. Oh, I
Yeah.
hated that aspect. Oh,
so
thanks for
this is
reminding me.
this is very different in that sense, I guess. But I'd have to. I'm hoping that my mind doesn't like turn against me when I'm watching it, so I can really enjoy it in that aspect. The only other thing too is just when she was singing, and I guess this is again just because I'm thinking old fashioned the way like certain songs are delivered, and she I think it was like part of your world, that line, but there's one line where it's in the original it's very slow and much more like calm, but she like brought it up a notch, and I don't mind it or hate it or anything by any means like that. I just wasn't expecting it, so it's just something I'm not used to, but it's not a takeaway for me because it's a different interpretation. It's different individuals representing these characters and delivering awesome new performances. So when the time comes and I get to see it in theaters, I know I'm gonna be all over it. I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm curious to see how they do Ursula and what she's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's. Well,
I will say too, sorry, I'm a big Sebastian fan, and I can't wait to see Sebastian here. And when we get that song, I play this on repeat on my play. Oh,
yeah, I knew it was going. Yeah.
fantastic! And I hope we get the French cook. I love that French cook. He's
I thought
great.
you were gonna say, "Oh, we get the French version." I'm like, Taylor, I can safely say we're not getting the French version in the regular release of that movie. No, that's a banger. That's probably my favorite song, honestly. Yeah, I forgot to shout out Sebastian, so thank you for reminding me.
So I just went and kind of re-looked at it because for me, my brain didn't even think about the whole singing underwater thing. And
Oh
sorry,
no,
Jessica.
Oh no, Taylor ruined it for you, didn't he?
well, no, I mean, there's not really a lot to even make it underwatery. But the thing for me is there's no air bubbles or anything, which is kind of a weird.
It's questionable.
I mean,
See,
she's
that's
got
what
to
I'm
pull the
saying,
air
she's-
out of the water. But like even fish,
Do they blub? Blub blub.
they do blub, but do air bubbles come out when fish blub?
I've seen a few bubbles.
Like not when they breathe though, right? Because it's just the gills. The gills are doing that. Oh god, there's some like marine biologist that's listening to us right now. He's like, unsubscribe. These guys don't know anything about fish.
S Bubs, are you
looking-
gonna
it's a
be
good
able to
question.
come in on this one too? Is S Bubs also a marine biologist?
Well, he knows about Aquaman. Aquaman creates air bubbles around him to talk. So I think that's in reference to what we were talking about earlier, but we're going with the blub. He blubs as well. That's what I'm gonna morph. Oh,
Like I'm looking at it now, like there's no bubbles, but this is it's just like just drowning underwater. I can't help but see that because that's what
but
I
you
would
can
do.
live underwater.
I know, but
No
there's
kidding,
definitely
that's
no
what you would
gills.
do. You're not a merman. See, and that's like the gills could be hidden in her fin or something, right? You don't know
That's
that.
true. There's definitely no bubbles there.
I can
I mean,
confirm.
they don't even have bubbles here with these turtles.
Do turtles blub though?
The tortoise. I mean, they should.
The tort.
The tortoise.
I don't think that's the plural version of turtles.
There's no real bubbles here with these fish either.
There
Maybe
should
they're
be
just not
something
good at
coming
it.
off their tails when they're flipping like that.
Yeah,
Some kind of currents.
Yeah.
man, I could talk about this all.
That
all
tail.
night.
That was a nice looking tail. You
It's
should
a
have
nice
played that
looking
tail
tail. It
some
was.
more.
And that was another thing I was gonna shout out. Is just like every visual in this trailer. Like it was really really beautiful. It looked gorgeous. Aquaman's like underwater sequences looked really good, but like in my eyes, like if this whole movie's like this, I know it's a teaser trailer, so they like polish it to look immaculate. So I'm not gonna.
They're
say
probably
it's the
listening
best
and
looking
thinking,
underwater
oh shit,
scene.
team, we need to put bubbles in there.
Yeah,
GeekVerse caught it.
Who was on bubble duty? God damn it, Jeremy, you're out. No, it looked visually, it looked gorgeous. So I'm very excited to get that next trailer when we see. I imagine they'll save them for the next one, like the Sebastian, your flounder. Maybe even end with like an Ursula moment. That'd be really cool. Even just like King Poseidon underwater, just this like big godly figure.
Who is
I'm excited for all
Poseidon,
that.
do we know?
I'm not sure. My mind just
John
goes to oh my god, Russell Crowe. Is that his name? Yeah. Thor:
Russell
Love and Thunder,
Crowe.
Zeus. Just go for each Greek god. Do you know?
Oh, Melissa McCarthy is Ursula. That's
Oh, there you go.
Yes, that's true.
you knew that one already.
I knew that one. Yeah. Rising star Jonah Hauer King will be portraying Prince Eric.
King. is in the
Hivar
name.
Bardam.
Javier
King
Bardem.
Triton.
Oh right, Travis told me that. Sorry, Travis, give shit all over me for that one.
I told you that.
Yeah, it's gonna
That's what he's
ream me
saying,
out
right?
for that.
Hashtag.
Javier
King Triton
Bardem.
too. It's not King. It's not King Poseidon. My bad. So, thank you for checking that out, Jessica. I definitely forgot his name. Moving along to our next trailer, unless anyone has any last things to say. Going once, going twice. All right. Hocus Pocus 2. Any big fans in the crowd? I haven't seen them, so I really have nothing to say on this. Sounds like Jessica, big head nod. She hasn't. No, not even. No.
I haven't
Okay.
seen the
Taylor?
first one.
I'm more of a Halloween Town guy myself, honestly. But
When it comes to Hocus Pocus, so I have not seen any of it.
moving along.
Fun trailer though. Fun trailer.
Yeah, fun trailer. You know, I like online. A lot of people are positive reactions to it, so that's always good. But yeah, nothing to add. I won't be watching this, I would imagine, unless I see the first one. Disenchanted. This is another remake that has, or not remake, sequel that's been a long time coming. I guess I have seen this one. Anyone else here? Getting some head nods. Jessica says nay. So Taylor, tell me about your. Is this like, oh my god, I've been waiting for years for Disenchanted. I've been tweeting at Amy Adams for years trying to get the sequel in the works.
I definitely wasn't bombarding her feeds
Oh,
trying
okay.
to like freak her
Not
out
for
or
this
anything.
reason.
No. So, but that being said, like again, I think the first time, pardon me, burped. First time I actually engaged in this movie was a few months back. I was podcasting, and then I walked out of the office, and Madison just kicked on the movie, and I thought, let's get into this. I'm down. Watched it, and we didn't finish it. We had to continue it the next day, and that was under my my due diligence. I set it on like, Madison, let's finish this movie, and it was very good. I really, really enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed the humor and the innocence to it. So when I caught wind that, hey, they already announced the sequel's coming out, I mean, let's go. I mean, no question about it. I'm ready for it.
What are your thoughts of this trailer?
Right, the trailer. I really
It'll
liked
never
it.
change.
It seems like it's gonna just be getting out of control, wacky, wishing. You got the talking chipmunks in there. Or was it squirrel or chipmunk? It was a talking furry fiend of some kind, and I'm down for it. But yeah, just the magic wand. It's just gonna be getting kind of rowdy. I'm curious because it looked like they were instilling that an evil stepmother or something like that takes over her body, or she has like an alter ego or something like that, where
Yeah.
she's doing bad things. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
From what I gathered online, I'm just gonna throw in because
Do
Taylor
it.
did just mention it. Yeah, from what I gathered online, because she gets her fairy tale life and she's a stepmother, so she's taking in the fairy tale role, that evil stepmother. So I don't think anyone takes over her body. I think her fairy tale is just changing into her being the evil stepmother because it's still a fairy tale.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah, I heard something, or I read something online very similar that's like, and even just like, I feel like I read that and then I watched the trailer, so I like had this in the back of my mind of like looking for Amy Adams being some sort of sus individual, and she definitely has some layers to that, and I think that's fun because it makes it not just like a rehash of what the first movie is, like it's actually a sequel, like it's adding on to a new part of the story. So yeah, I really like this trailer, honestly. I think just having like that cast back is fun. I'm not like a diehard like Enchanted fan. I probably just saw it like once way back in the day. But this trailer was good enough that I actually want to like go rewatch the original in anticipation for this one. Yeah, what's the lead's name again? He's in Sonic. Do you know, Taylor? Top of your head?
Oh, I'll whip it out real quick.
Yeah, whip it
James
up.
Marsden?
James Marsden.
Holy shit!
I don't know why that just sounded like a Red Dead Redemption name. James Marsden.
John Marston is the
John
James
Marsden. yeah,
It's
there
close.
you go. He's his brother.
It's very close.
His brother went on to become a video game character. James Marsden. Yeah, he. I always liked him in that role. He's just like plays up. Obviously, is very like, what would that be, like high Victorian type princely character thing. And he's a fun character. So yeah, I think it's a great trailer, and I'm looking forward to it.
He was originally
doing?
in X-Men, so I guess when they canceled that, he was like, well,
Cyclops.
shit, let's do Disenchanted instead.
Okay, never mind.
There was always something I kind of got confused because now that's what it was. You ever see the Disaster movie? Because they spoofed Enchanted in there.
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah,
Was
they
it a disaster?
Well, the movie spoofs like Iron
Romance, like
Man and
oh,
all
okay.
that kind of stuff. It's one of those like scary movie kind of like
Oh, I know. There was so like Vampire Sucks. There's Epic Movie. That was the spoof on Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. I actually quite like that
superhero
one.
movie too. Like I'll share my screen so you can see this like spoof moment here. Yeah, disaster movie. And then there's like this is
Oh.
what I always thought this was actually most enchanting. I always thought this was part of the actual Enchanted movie because she's just doing her own thing and like gets knocked off by a car. But yeah, there you go.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Moving along. This is Taylor. You lead us away. This one, the Santa Claus is. I still have not seen this one. We will be doing a retro in the future, so I can actually see this movie. I'm sure, especially with this one coming out. Yeah. What did this sequel trailer do for you, Taylor? Oh, I didn't even ask Jessica. Any experience? You've probably seen Santa Claus.
No.
No? Okay, I'm not alone here. Taylor, lead us
So
away with the Santa
you
Claus.
guys
number.
don't know that intro scene then. You have no idea.
I
what
heard
it's all
Geek
about.
Verse, and I'm like, oh, that's relevant.
Okay. Very relevant. Yeah, man, Santa Claus it's an absolute staple every year, and Tim Allen is great. That first one is fantastic. I really like the second one. The third one is definitely probably an underrated sequel. It's
So
got
what's
some
this one
pretty
gonna
good-
be?
This is a series, I believe. That's not
Oh,
so. It's
okay.
not a movie. It's a series, and it's just going to kind of continue the story after the events of all the other ones. So I don't even think you would necessarily need to watch the second or third one. You could probably just get away with watching
Just
the
the
first
first.
one. I hope to God though you don't. I hope you do watch all of them because you can really immerse yourself in this world properly for lore purposes and canon.
Oh, okay. I'll check out the Santa Claus wiki after this. Get all
There
my
you go.
my answers there.
But I'm super excited. Me and Travis were talking about this, and Travis mentioned that there's I don't want to spoil this component, but I will say that he's not looking great for a Santa Claus. Like he's looking a little rough around the edges. Like he's been through. He's had a few Christmas Eves, one too many, I think. So he's
Like not enough butter scraped over too much bread.
yeah, definitely, absolutely too much or too little butter, and he's too much bread. He's That being said, like I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but it just I think that if they were to do like the kind of the cosmetic makeup on him of like Santa Claus, I think it just the trailer didn't make him look like the greatest, and I feel bad because
You're saying he's looking like shit from this.
well,
trailer.
you know you
I
don't want to
get it.
scare the kids away, like oh fuck,
It's Krampus.
yeah, basically.
I mean, he has to be retiring. I think he's probably supposed to look a little tired.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair. So it could be for story purposes. And if that's the case, then I can easily get on board with
Tim
that.
Allen in real life is just like shredded. Never looked better.
Just
They had to like
jacked, yeah.
add all this prosthetic to make him look like shit. But yeah, what did like the specific trailer do for you? Like not even saying like, oh, can you imagine that you're getting another Santa Claus? Is it just like this trailer? Like I'll only judge the trailer right now.
It
not
got
your
me.
own hype.
I know. I keep judging everything else but the trailers. It got me super stoked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so
Yeah?
jazzed to watch the show. I could be more excited. Seeing Bernard back as well in the trailer had me ecstatic because Bernard is he was a former head elf in the first two Santa Claus movies, and he wasn't kicking around in the third one. So yeah, I'm super stoked for this, and yeah, like watching the trailer and looking at some of these like the elves, 'cause even though they're all kids, I don't know why, but for some reason I was like, holy shit, I feel like I recognize like 20 of these elves that haven't aged since the first movie, but they're kids. They had to have grown up. Like, what the fuck's going on? They look so identical to some other elves, but that can't be the case.
I had that exact same thought. I think it was in episode 2 of Rings of Power. There's like a Harfoot, and I'm like, that is the same child actress from like Fellowship of the Ring, like The Hobbit. I'm like, this doesn't make sense, but it is. Like maybe they just like took the child or something of that initial child actress because it's
Keep
just
it in
like
the
these
family.
people look too similar. It's weird. We're in a simulation, Taylor. That's what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Santa Claus, but like for me, this trailer was still fun. I feel like for some reason in my mind, I always just like intertwine. I don't think that's a word, but I'm going to use that. Intertwine, I think it's intertwined. Santa Claus and like Bad Santa together. So like maybe I thought I was like putting on Santa Claus. I put on like Bad Santa or something, and then as a kid I'm just like I don't like this Santa Claus movie. This isn't good. For some reason I just like equated Santa Claus to being like not an actual Christmas movie, like something like just weird. Again, I probably should have just fucking Googled Santa Claus and had that answer for me. But yeah, this trailer was kind of fun. I like the concept. I feel like it's good enough. It's not like, I don't know, Krampus is back and we gotta kill him for good. You know, like it's not over the top. It's just like Santa needs a replacement. Here we go. And yeah. For being someone with no prior knowledge of the movies or anything, I thought this was a really fun trailer. Even like, I'm not a football guy, but like the Peyton Manning sequence for me still made me chuckle. I feel like I know enough about like football to know the references that they're talking about, so that was fun for me. And yeah, I thought it was a good first trailer.
You mentioned Bad Santa there. I'll never forget that. Just a little tangent. That one scene where the kid goes up on his knee and it's like, "What do you want?" He's got the ice cream shit all over his face, and he's like, "A Fraggle stick car." He's like, "What the fuck's a Fraggle stick car?"
The movie's funny now that I'm old, but at the time I was just like, "This is Santa." Jessica, any thoughts on the trailer?
Was Cal Penn in the originals?
Cal Penn.
Who is that?
Harold and Kumar.
Oh,
Still looking
like
up.
Kumar? Is that who that
Yeah.
is? In those
Yeah.
two, yeah. They was quick on the draw today.
There's like a ton of images.
He's
He's in this
cast.
new series. Is that why you're inquiring?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
exactly why.
Yeah, I don't think he was in any of the originals. There's so many images of him with Santa Claus, but I guess it makes sense because there was the Harold and Kumar Christmas movie.
Another adult Christmas movie. They get you, kids. Be careful what you put in there. All right.
I
Oh,
don't
sorry.
know football. I didn't know anything of the football jokes. I didn't
either.
Okay, perfect.
You guys weren't knee slapping like me. I'm like, this guy's so funny. Okay.
just
Were you
found out
really?
about it now when I'm Googling about the show.
Yeah.
Talking about, Brady. I was like, is this an elf I'm supposed to know? Apparently Tom Brady, another football player.
Oh, I
Travis's
understood that
favorite
reference.
football player. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big Patriots.
He's a
fan.
big Patriots fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
He defends the Deflate Gate every
He's
day.
put money on the Patriots a few times. He told me.
I think he has. I'd seen a jersey at his place.
I wouldn't have even known what team they played for. Patriots. Don't know where the Patriots are located. Football. Not my. But
That's
I
fair.
digress.
It's not sport for everyone. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the original Santa Clauses, but this actually looks like a fun little mini series. And I think I've seen, The Grinch and Bad Santa and, Christmas Story, all of those so many times that this feels like a good year to watch something new. So I think that this actually might have made me decide that this might be the year that, I'll check this out and have this series to watch. It's just something new. I feel like it looks like it's going to be fun. I think it's a nice, kind of new concept. It's not just, Santa's delivering presents again or Santa can't get everything done on time. So I'm excited in that sense to have something new that seems like a bit of an original concept, and I am excited because I do like some of the actors that I see are coming into this, Cal Penn and Tim Allen, things like that. I'll be honest though, Taylor, I will probably not watch the second or third. I will
It's fair.
just get that one.
It's understandable.
Right on. All right. Moving on to another TV series. I'm going to save the big one for the last. Percy Jackson show is next. I don't think that's actually what it's called. I would imagine
Percy
it's called
Jackson and the Olympians.
Okay, so the same title as the other ones. Any history with this series for anyone here? Taylor gave an
Well, I've got
he thinks I'm wrong
history.
about something.
Well,
He's like, as a matter of fact, sir, it's called the Percy Jackson story or something like that. What are you gonna say?
well, Percy Jackson and the Olympians is the book name, but the original other film was Percy Jackson
Lightning
and the
Thief.
Lightning Thief.
It was the first
yeah.
book.
That was
So like
first
the
book?
Percy Jackson, Jessica will probably confirm or deny. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is like the book series, and then the first one would have been the Lightning
Oh,
Thief.
right.
The
Just
second
ignore
one,
me.
Sea
I'm
of
a fucking
Monsters.
casual.
Yeah, no. So Jessica was shaking her head because she had prior knowledge. Taylor, have you seen or read the books?
I think I've like touched one of them once, but
You touched one of the books?
Yeah,
I
I've
do that. I
never-
go to my local library and just, knowledge.
yeah, fondle the books.
I wish I could read.
Madison, come in here. Let me type my name. I don't know
Yeah.
what the letters together mean.
So that's my experience with the novels. But as far as the show, or not the show, the two movies go, I was definitely, I believe I saw Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief in theaters at the time.
Ooh.
And that was cool stuff. I used to ponder and think to myself, like, man, it'd be so cool if I was an Olympian. I just had like these like half-blood powers, and you know, it just always works out for him because he
Zeus
gets
just
the girl,
came down
gets
and
all
like
this
smashed
stuff.
your mom or something. One of
Yeah,
those
it's just a righteous story, you know, and so that was not the case for me because I am not a demigod. I am just a mortal man, but great. Anyways, trailer. Yes, the trailer was super unique and cool. I liked how it was just, if you learn that you're a demigod, just ignore it, suppress it, because once you notice, they notice. And I'm thinking like, you know what, that's interesting because like once you start to notice the devil notices you, and you got to be careful because then demonic shit can happen. And not saying that's the case here, but it's just I like the parallel, demonically speaking.
Demonically speaking. Ooh, scary. Jessica.
I was super excited when the original movies came out. I like Logan something or other, but
Logan Lerman. I don't think that's actually his name. It's just a name I had in my head. And if that's correct,
I think you
I
are
gotta go
right.
to trivia
Actually,
night.
gotta go buy a lottery ticket here. So
I was right. Yeah. Nice. Okay, sorry. Carry on.
I like him, and I was super excited because I do have all the books. I haven't finished them all, be honest on that one. But I was like, this is going to be super fun. I'm all about, the lore of Greek gods and things like that. I just got a tattoo and, a Greek messenger kind of play. So for me, super about that. And the movie came out and it was just so disappointing. It was just way too much to condense into a movie. And from what I've read on this one, it's now supposed to be a book per season, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's just going to leave so much more room to be able to play with this. And if I remember correctly too, I think when they did the movies, who they got to play Percy was a little old at the time. So the fact that it looks like this new actor is going to be quite young to start with, I think is going to be a little more fitting as well for how the books kind of feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I once upon a time I used to read books, and this was actually one of the series that I got really into, and by really into I mean I think I finished the first two books, which is a big deal for me. I was never really a strong reader, especially back in the day. Very ADHD child, couldn't focus on it. But I like Jessica. I am so fascinated by like ancient Greek mythology and stuff like that. Like one of my favorite games growing up, Age of Mythology. Oh, so good. So I found out about the book series and I just could not put the book down, at least the first one. Like I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it's fantastic. Like again, I read it as a child. I imagine it's still awesome. Like how can it not be? It introduced so many interesting concepts, and the way that it's spliced just realism with like the mythological world was so great. And obviously that's like me experiencing it through the book, which is not really easily transferable to the screen as the movies showed us. But so yeah, I fell in love with it. I thought it was so awesome. I love the world. And then I found out they're doing like a movie for it, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. It's such a great idea. Oh my gosh, I love this. And then yeah, I think I got like 15 minutes into like the first movie and I was just so done with it, because this was like, like people, Jessica can speak to it. Like someone that's like read the Harry Potter books and then you watch the movies, you're like, they're good, but like they don't scratch the surface by like, or maybe that's a lie. They scratch the surface. They don't dive deep onto like what actually is just encompassing in this world. And I mean, that was me for the book. So I really, really hated the first movie, and I didn't even try the second one. And honestly, like when I heard the news that they're doing this, I got optimistic again, but then I was kind of just reminded of like the jump from like the book to the movie thing, and I'm like, I don't want to go through this again where like I get my hopes up. So my expectation is like pretty low, and I feel like the trailer, it didn't do too much to sway me in either direction. Like I agree with Jessica. I think the main lead, I think it's awesome that they have a younger individual. I completely or maybe I'll pull up his name, because I was going to say I completely forgot the young actor's name, but yeah, I imagine he'll be a good Percy, and I think them just showing off the camp, it's not exactly what I pictured like in my head it looking like. I think it also just kind of looked very standouty. They just had like the one house that he was walking into, and it was just this like, I forget. It's like a, you know the building. I don't know specifically the right word for it, but the one with the pillars and everything, and it just looked very standouty. And I don't know. I was like, okay, this is gonna be this. And S Bubs in the chat, he jumped on and said Percy Jackson sweep 2024 incoming. I think he's memeing us, or just very passionate about the book series, which is awesome, because he also said the show is going to be one book per season. The movie's poorly condensed in the books. I agree. The creator hates them, and now he has full control of the show where he didn't with the movies. So again, that's very optimistic, positive news from myself, because I really, really liked at least the first two books that I read. I'll have to go back to that series actually, because it is. I really had a good time with them. The camp is almost exactly as described. Okay, maybe it's been a minute since I read the books. S-Bub's calling me out here, because I don't know. It looked bizarre to me. Again, I've only seen the trailer once, so I'll do some proper due diligence to it. But yeah, Taylor Field, the GeekVerse podcast.
So we're just looking at some pictures of Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, specifically the movie. I just remember always being kind of thrown off with Hades. I'm going to show a picture here of Hades.
Oh no!
And it's just kind of like threw me off, and now I know why it always kind of throws me off, because he's the guy that blows up in Tropic Thunder.
Is it actually?
I'm
Are
so
you gonna play it?
confident.
You can't just pull up that video and not play it for me. Oh, and Travis is cursing because you're gonna get demonetized probably for showing that. But
But yeah, same freaking actor. So it's just, I don't know. Like, he just feels like he's like not a musician, but a magician that just is like, I don't know.
he doesn't look like Hades at all. I'm not even a big
he's
fan.
supposed to be like a sexy Hades. Like that's
Oh,
when I
he's-
think of Hades. Yeah, see, that's more.
That's his other form, and I like that. His god form's pretty cool.
Balrog looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird scene. That's a weird. I'm not a fan.
He looks like he should be from Pick a Destiny. That's what I'm thinking.
He does.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, 100%. He looks like the dude that like owns like the guitar shop. I think it's Ben Stiller's character. Okay.
Yes.
That's amazing. Thanks for reminding me about that. Who knows? Maybe commentary track one day. We'll see.
Did you want to borrow the books, Kirk?
Maybe. I have a stack of like 20 Halo books below me right now, so I think I have a lot of backlog reading to do right now, but I will hold you to that one day, because I honestly I had very fond memories of definitely the first. I remember the first book a lot more clearly than the second one. Maybe I didn't even make it through the whole of the second book, but I
You just don't remember
those
the
first
camp.
two. According to S-Bubs, yeah. It was dark when they got there initially. There was a big Minotaur. Come on, like how am I supposed to discern all that stuff? But again, that was well over a decade ago. Yeah. Any final thoughts on Percy Jackson?
I'm excited for it. It's my final.
You're excited for it, yeah.
Very excited. If it's narrated by Andy Serkis, then I might do the audiobook, but it's not.
There you go. Yes. Right on. All right. Percy Jackson first movie commentary. Oh boy, that'd be something. Yeah, it might happen. Our last Disney trailer that we'll talk about is for National Treasure. I don't have the name in front of me right now. National Treasure and the Edge of... I don't even remember what it is. Edge of Secrets or something? That doesn't sound right at all. Let me actually what that is. Someone please talk about this trailer so I can look this up. Anyone? Edge
so-
of History. Edge of History.
Edge of
I think,
History,
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
one.
I knew it was Edge something.
It was Edge of something, yeah. I have just come off of a National Treasure binge.
Me as
I
well,
just-
sir.
You
Me
did
as
too,
well.
yeah,
Yes.
fantastic. There's something about these movies that's just fantastic, and there's elements of Nick Cage where you can kind of see, I feel like, his descent into quirkiness. He just does certain, like, he's super composed and he's a fantastic actor in these two movies, but there's little minute things where just something seeps out where it's so peculiar in his mannerisms. But I love it now where we've gotten with Nick Cage in his films. But that aside, this trailer, it didn't necessarily get me super excited, and for the most part, like, I'm just extremely salty that they just fucked me over and didn't give me what I wanted to know. And what I wanted to know is my nickname, page 47. I think it was like, can you string anyone more along? And like me coming from a background loving conspiracies and like cryptids and aliens, all that kind of stuff, and then in Book of Secrets, you literally get the president's book and they're flipping through the pages, and I'm like, oh, if this, I'm sure it is a real book, but I'd love to just like siphon through this book. I'd love to even take like the movie prop and just see what they all had in there. But S-Bubs, you know exactly it. That's exactly it. Me and my wife, we do joke about that all the time. There's a quick scene in the first one. You probably remember, Kirklin, when he grabs a blonde lady, I can't remember her name, puts her in the van. He's like, "Are you okay? Are you hurt? You hungry?" And he like shakes his head violently at her when he says it. It's so weird. But that's one of like
Abigail
the first
is
things.
her name, by the way.
Abigail is. Thank you. That's one of the first weird things that he does, and that's something I do to my wife all the time when I'm like, "You hungry?" Yes, it's fantastic. But yeah, I hope that we eventually get Nick Cage returning in this franchise. But I digress. So with this trailer, it's cool to see some reoccurring characters from the series. We get that Federal Bureau investigation gentleman back, and it looks like he's got much more of a hand on this, which makes sense because he's someone who is not really protecting, but aware of some of these secrets with his masonry ring.
He had
that
a
we learned
ring,
about.
yeah.
And then we see Alan from Hangover. I can't remember his name. I should. Riley, thank you. Yes, I always loved his character, so it's cool to see Riley kind of make an appearance in here. Just being immersed in that world again, it really made me excited. Yeah, I'm very stoked to see where this goes. I hope it's not insanely Disney-fied, knowing that Jerry is working on this. Is Buckheimer or Bruckheimer? It's Buckheimer, isn't it? Bruckheimer.
With
Yeah,
an R.
Jerry Bruckheimer, knowing that he's got his fingers slapped on this franchise yet again is fantastic. I think it's great because he knows how to kind of sew the mysteries in, and I'm excited to see what we get out of this because National Treasure, I forgot how much I absolutely love this franchise, and I remember reading comments too that if they get that season 2, they're gonna just get on their knees and beg for Nicolas Cage to come back, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. I feel like it'd just be fitting right in. I do hope that we get a National Treasure 3 otherwise. If not, then I'll take the series.
Right on. Jessica, you have any experience with like National Treasure or anything like that? Or big
I think
fan?
I've seen the first one.
Yeah.
Not as into
Not
it
Book of
as,
Secrets.
no.
You're not wondering
and
what's on page 47 to this day, like Taylor?
Honestly, I did not get the reference at all. So I'm sorry to say.
That's fair.
I think I'd confused in my mind too. What's the one with like Da Vinci Code? I think I'd mixed those up in my mind a little bit too, where I couldn't
That's a
discern
good
what.
crossover.
This is like Da Vinci Code for kids, I'd say. It like preps them for that because I am a fan of this movie and I'm also a fan of Da Vinci Code. So I feel like it's like a step, you know. It's like, oh, have you done your National Treasure research? Okay, now you can watch the Da Vinci Code. That's how it worked at my house, at least.
I skipped a step apparently, so
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think I'm going to go and watch this one. You know, if Cage was in it, I might, just out of curiosity, just because, you know, like Taylor said, that descent into madness, and, you know, like I still got those fond memories of Willy's Wonderland in my head. So I'd probably check it out just to kind of see how much more he's descended into his madness. But just the lore alone is not enough to get me to check this out.
Yeah. Yeah, I as I was alluding to, I have seen the whole series. Like Taylor, he's actually the one that started me on this marathon. He was at work. He's like, out of the blue, just messaged. It's like, just want to be home and watch National Treasure right now. And it put me in the mood. I was home. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this right now. Why not? And I still love the first movie. The second one, not so much. I remember it so much more fondly in my mind. But yeah, unfortunately, it just falls pretty flat for me. Honestly, the first one though, like I'll defend that to the end of time. It's so fantastic, and this one it definitely captures like that vibe of the National Treasure movies. I mean, they even had like the same theme song like at the end. And just this whole like mystery of like, oh, there's clues and treasure. Like I said, I love the Da Vinci Code. I love this stuff. I like Indiana Jones has like aspects of that too, where they're like trying to figure out mysteries of like history and stuff, and like they go to these places that like so many people have been, but there's like secrets behind there. And I think that concept is just so intriguing to me. I love it so much. So I will be checking this out, but my hype is like, I'm not gonna say it's like pretty low, but it's a lot lower than it would have been like if we had Nick Cage. Like if it was Nick Cage back, it's like this is like a bona fide just third movie that's not a movie, right? Like it's just a TV series. But like we have Riley in there. Oh my gosh, I forget his name, but gentleman from the FBI, great actor. I forget his name. I apologize. He's in it, so like that's fun. But I don't know, like this new cast and crew, like it's not even like it's anything bad. It's just like there's no Nick Cage, like Jessica was kind of saying. Like I feel like that would really pull me in a lot more. But I don't know, like everything that was kind of shown in this, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be like a train wreck in my eyes. Like like if you really didn't like National Treasure, you really won't like this, I would imagine, because it in my eyes it's encompassing that feel of what the other two movies have at least. And I will say though, I knew I was clicking on the National Treasure trailer, but I just burst out laughing when like the first thing he says is just I would have to paraphrase it, but it's just like, oh, you found a clue, and then it just like gets this like and he like has his maps, and I'm like, man, I'm such a sucker for this because I totally understand why people are like, this is so stupid, but like for me, I love it. So yeah, that's fun. Any final thoughts? National Treasure, Edge of Tomorrow.
I don't think so.
Going once. Okay, we are going to take our next ad break, and then we're going to be jumping into even more trailers, but non-Disney variety. So we will be right back. And we are back. So, lady and gentleman, where would you like to start with next? We got 3 here to cover. Not as dense as Disney. All right, I'm going to pick. We're going to start with Babylon. This is, I forget the director, but this is a super big cast of Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt. We got Tobey Maguire in there. In my eyes, it's looking like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Part 2, but I digress. Okay, we are going to start with Jessica. What do you think of this trailer? Babylon.
I
Get your juices flowing. Or you're like,
No.
I just want to party and do coke like Margot right now. No? I'm the only one? Okay.
I felt like as the trailer went on, I got less and less excited. So in the beginning, when, like you said, she's all coked out, and there's just between scenes of her going, if I had all the money, everyone would just party forever, and then big dance sequence, and then, back to her being all coked out, and then huge dance, and, I'm kind of interested in this. And then by the end of it, it was just, I don't know, it was like, this kind of just feels the same as another movie. I couldn't tell you which one. But, Leo?
Yeah, Great Gatsby. I definitely had those vibes as well. It felt like a mixture of that for me, and probably the party stuff, honestly. And of course, we have Toby in this again. He was in Great Gatsby. And then the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood stuff I was getting from like the whole movie production thing. Nikita said he reminds him of Wolf of Wall Street meets Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So we're not alone in like thinking that this is some sort of bastard child of multiple movies, which isn't necessarily a bad thing,
It's not a bad thing, but it's not enough of a draw to be, there's definitely been trailers we've talked about where it's like, I need to see this, tomorrow. I want
Yeah.
to watch this so bad. And it doesn't feel like there's enough of a draw or a hook to be like, oh, I need to go and find out what's going on. You know, Don't Worry, Darling, right when you watch that trailer, although it's been way overdone, we watched it and it was like, oh, okay, I wonder what exactly is happening in this movie, in this town, in this situation. But this, it's like, I'll watch it when it hits Netflix. So that's my thoughts on it. Yes, it's a stacked cast, but other than that, I didn't have enough of a draw to really be interested in it.
Right on. Did it feel?
Yeah, when it comes to these kind of movies, like I still haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know what it is. Like, yes, it's got the stacked cast. Yes, it's got the enticing story, but there's just something there that like I'm not in a necessary like an urgency or a rush to go see in theaters. I don't know why. It doesn't mean I'm never gonna watch it, or I definitely don't think it's intriguing by any means. It's definitely something I have on the list, and I'll get eventually around to it. But I don't know if I'm gonna like hop to it right away into the theaters. I don't know. I mentioned before when it comes to these kind of movies, I'm more on the front of I like being kind of like really wowed with the big screen, kind of like I like seeing things on the big screen that you
Like
can't
Transformers.
see in real life. Yeah, like Transformers. Like I'm sure like Margot Robbie's doing a line. There's many people doing lines all around town right now. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
very,
Someone right next to
pay-
you. Jeez,
pay-
Shay, stop that.
I don't have to pay $15. I can just go find someone doing it, and then there's my cinematic experience. So, I mean, but no.
But you don't see Margot Robbie doing lines. That's the thing.
No, that's true.
She's a little bit more expensive than $15.
That's $15. Yeah, right there. But no, it's something I would definitely have on the list to watch. But I'm in no hurry to. But it looks enticing. It looks like a lot of action sequences, and yeah.
Yeah. I and S Bubs, shouts out to you. You got us. The director is Damien Chazelle. Can always count on you, S Bubs. Thank you very much. For me, yeah, I really like this trailer. It was one that had a lot of talk, and like I think the trailer, I don't remember specifically when the trailer dropped, but I didn't even watch it right away. Like I saw it for the first time today, and it just kept like surprising me on like who was popping up. Like I feel like I knew subconsciously who was in it, and then seeing them on screen, I was like, oh my god, like this is wild here. And I think like for me, just having like those names on like a sheet of paper like together it really is enough to get me in the door. I love Margot Robbie, and like Brad Pitt, he was so phenomenal in my eyes. I mean, the most recent one was Bullet Train. He was so phenomenal in that. And like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the movie that I get vibes of this trailer from, like he was phenomenal in that. So obviously in that similar setting, it almost seems like I guess Jessica, have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say he reminds me more of Rick Dalton, but you guys don't know who that is. So, which is funny because that was Leo in that movie, and Brad Pitt was like another character. So it seems like he's a little bit more like that again. And again, maybe it's unfair for me to like compare them so similarly. It's just that's the vibe I was getting from it. Kind of like, especially like he drops that line. It's like when I got here, they had signs saying like no actors and no dogs, and I changed that because he's like this actor, and like again, that's what Leo was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So it's kind of funny the similarities there. I'm really excited to see those party sequences. Obviously, just seeing Margot off the rails doing coke benders, and like her character is just so intriguing to me. Like the way her dynamic works with. I don't know what the other character is. He's some sort of Latino man or something. I'm really excited to see what their dynamic is, and just to see what all these different pieces of like the puzzles are that like make this an actual like movie that you digest. So I think all of those question marks really have me in the door. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I thought the trailer was. It was kind of a lot, honestly. I'm not saying like I know where this story is gonna end because I don't even know what the story really is, so that helps. But it just gave like a lot of compilation shots. I feel of like different scenes, and I don't know. For me, like it didn't seem like I was like, oh, I wish they cut that out. Like it was just fine. You know, I thought it was a good trailer for sure. I'm excited to see Toby's character. Just he reacts certain ways, like very briefly in this trailer, but also just like those stills of him, just like again, he's got those like coke eyes where he's just like look like he's been up for like 4 days, and I don't think I've ever seen Toby in a position like that. So obviously Toby's near and dear to my heart. So very much looking forward to that. And yeah, I think this is going to be an awesome one. I apologize. I probably should have been listing off like the dates when these are coming out. Because for this one, I definitely did not. Just says 2022, December 25th. So Christmas Day. There you go.
Definitely not rushing to see that one in theaters for the midnight review.
No, you're not. Yeah. Christmas Eve, clear your schedule. We're being there. Yeah, I think. Oh, Nikita's saying December 25th limited release. So, oh yeah, there you go. December 25th limited release, and then before expanding wide on January 6th. Thank you very much, Nikita, for clearing that out. Anything actually, you know what, I should do my due diligence and actually read out these Patreon questions, because I always forget to do that. I apologize. Starting at the top, going back, oh yeah, so this is something that we already talked about on the weekend, but Jessica, you weren't there on. Did you see the Andor trailer? Do you know what that is? Okay, never mind then. That's the new Star Wars show coming out, because Clay from our Patreon asked, we are now a week away from Andor. Do you guys think that there will be any cameos, guest stars, or even series regulars that have been large characters in the past for Star Wars? ? For example, maybe Kira and or Darth Maul, Crimson Dawn, possibly. I'm gonna go to the resident Star Wars lore man himself for this one, Taylor.
I think
Anyone's bouncing up?
We just get a full-on Darth Vader, Palpatine episode 1.
Darth Vader versus Palpatine versus Darth Maul. Yeah. Episode 1. That's how it starts. Fuck yeah, I'm there.
Crazy. I think they're going to play it very, very subtle and very soft. These are, again, some reoccurring characters that we're familiar with, so I don't think you want to do them an injustice by shafting them to the sidelines. You want to make sure that we can get to really appreciate these characters and not get totally just absorbed and swept away in a Force user, because Force users alone, Jedi, Sith, whatever, they will have that kind of magnetism about them where people just get super absorbed into that, and then you kind of shaft away all the other characters. The same with like in Rogue One. Yes, we got a little bit of Vader, but he wasn't doing anything over the top, and that was enough to like keep the juices going, and then we got him all out at the end. If you got Vader all out at the beginning, then you would want to have more of that sprinkled throughout the whole film. So I think if we get any kind of a cameo, it's not going to be at the beginning, it'll be near the end, something like that. I'm trying to remember how far away Andor takes place before A New Hope, because if I remember correctly, Maul dies probably about 2 years before A New Hope, I think. Or maybe I'm getting that wrong, because hang on, let me do some
It must be
here.
close to that era, I would imagine, right? Or not that era, but like that event. Like, I would imagine it's just a handful of years. I would hope it's not like 15 or something.
Yeah, so Star Wars Rebels takes place, it begins 5 years before A New Hope. So that's season 1 and 2. We could probably say like 2 to 3 years is when Maul dies before A New Hope. So that's a long time. And in terms of Andor takes place 5 years before A New Hope. Interesting. Okay, so that takes place right at the start is when Rebels starts to kick off then. That's fascinating. So that means we're still 5 years before Cassian's death in Rogue One, which is good. That's a lot of room to play with. So you very well could see a Maul. You very well could see a Crimson Dawn kind of connection here unfolding.
Fuck yeah.
And I hope so.
I'm not like a memer about Solo like Travis is. I definitely love that. Let me rephrase that. No, actually, yeah. I love that movie.
Love.
Honestly, I love it. I really do. I feel like if that Vader sequence wasn't in there, I would really, really like it. But that Vader sequence just, it got me over the edge. Phenomenal. And any like reference that ties to that movie in a way that like makes it relevant and also just disregards Travis's meme that movie didn't happen, I am all for it. I am all for all that. So I think that would be really awesome. And again, like it's not oh, because this Crimson Dawn thing was like in Andor. It doesn't like take away any sequel stuff by any means. Like I like that we flesh out that a little bit more. So I'm totally down to get that. Big Emilia Clarke fan, so definitely any Kira would be just outstanding for me. I really like her character in Solo. She has a lot of layers to her, and if we get just a little bit more progress with her, or even just like you said 5 years before
5 years before Rogue One.
Okay, so she wouldn't really be doing sus things at this point, right? Because this would be before Solo.
No, because Solo is 10 years after.
10 years. Oh, so she would be
right
super
in between.
sus.
Yeah,
she'd be looking like
super
Darth
sus.
Maul probably. She's got like the Zabrak paint all over her.
Oh yeah, she's
Big
sus,
memeing.
right.
Hardcore Star Wars fans, I know that's how it doesn't work. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I think that's for like any other characters. It's tough for me because I don't know. I'm not well versed in this era on like who could, and like I haven't seen Rebels or anything like that, so I don't know really who would be crossing over. Is it possible that you like a new big character is kind of introduced here? I know it's tough because of like the time period, because it's like where would he be in the entire like sequel? That's 6 movies now after that event, right? If we're counting like the sequel series, so like a part of me would like that, but at the same time maybe I wouldn't like that, because after the dust settles it'd be like, oh, why didn't they talk about this certain character being, I don't know. I was murmuring about like Thrawn or something like that. I don't think we would be getting anything like that, eh?
Well, funny enough, Thrawn doesn't go missing until like 3 to 2 years before.
Oh my god,
A New
Thrawn
Hope.
confirmed.
So
Thrawn
Thrawn, yeah,
confirmed.
pretty much, yeah. You could easily sneak a Thrawn in here, and I doubt they would, because we're getting him debuting in Ahsoka. But that being said, like if we got Imperial version of Thrawn in this, I would lose my coconut. In terms of like characters that we could see, like I pitched him appearing in. Him and Cad Bane appearing in Book of Boba Fett, and Cad Bane appeared. Hondo Anaka did not, and he is a character from the Clone Wars who was introduced, and he's incredible. He's absolutely hilarious. I'd love to see him appear in this. Like, he's such a quirky mercenary kind of like gang leader. At one point in time in the Clone Wars, like he had Count Dooku and Obi-Wan and Anakin all in handcuffs and was trying to auction them off to the highest bidder. Like, he's just absolutely hilarious.
Is that early in the show?
It's one of the earlier episodes.
Because I've seen that. I've 100%. I remember watching. I was like, I don't know who any of these characters are. That was when I was like half of a half commitment on watching Clone Wars. I think I was in it, and then it was just too many filler Jar Jar stuff that took me out. But I've said it before. I said it again. I will finish it at some point in time. Like Travis said, I'll just like commit a few episodes a day here and there. I can't wait. Like season 3, is that when it's like really popping off?
Season 3 is when it starts to pop off. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. But yeah, Hondo, that'd be my pitch for Andor.
Cool. I like it. Jessica, who's your any predictions on who could appear in this Andor series?
Kylo and Rey together with their
Kylo and
Force
Rey.
babies.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. It's like a premonition. Andor. Oh my gosh. I can't speak. And Andor Cassian just has like a memory, or like a forward memory. It's like, oh my god, it's just like a sex scene between Kylo and Rey. I'd put low chips on that bet.
What? I'm an A tier scooper.
Yeah, no source, just A-tier scooper, Jessica.
Yeah,
cool.
I got
Yeah,
not
thanks.
much to add on the Star Wars lore. Has gone way outside of my scope of watching them in theaters. I know there's a third Mandalorian coming out in season 3.
Yeah, that's good.
That's, I haven't watched any of it, but I know there's one coming. I knew that this was announced. That's about all I know about it. So sorry, I believe this was Patreon Clay that asked it. I cannot give you my 2 cents.
I feel like he was really asking Taylor, but
Yeah.
we gotta check the
I
boxes.
appreciate that, Clay.
Yeah. Yes, thanks, Clay. Moving on, we have our own S-Bubs. He said, did any of these trailers, which I guess are just kind of everything that we talked about here, did any of these trailers get you excited about a movie or show you weren't excited for before? And I haven't even gotten to all the trailers yet, so I apologize. We I'm gonna ask that question after S-Bubs. You reminded me that we didn't go through all the trailers. Oh my gosh. You guys didn't even correct me. You're like, yeah.
I was
Babylon,
looking
that's
now
good.
like this is kind of peculiar.
Okay. We will get to yes, Bubs. You can wait your goddamn turn. Okay, next up on the list, we have the Fablemans with Paul Dano, Michelle Williams. I think those were all the names I really recognized there. Taylor, you start us off.
I just can't not see Paul Dano just in this trailer just go like explosions like just living it up in his jail cell. It's so weird.
Yes.
That aside,
It's funny that you said that because when he like first appeared, all I thought in my head was like, no, when he's like freaking out to Batman. Oh, that movie corrupted my mind.
Bruce Wayne.
Oh, I love you, Paul Dano.
But yeah, as far as the trailer goes, very, very good. Felt good in the heart, and I liked how it just felt hopeful and just the imaginative powers of being young and being able to just dream and make your dream a reality, and just seeing how the hard work really pays off, and just this fascination and this passion, just just filming things, and it really it spoke to me because I feel like most people can kind of be in that situation, at least maybe. I won't speak for most people, but I'll speak for myself. When I was young, I felt like I could really resonate with the kid in this movie and just what he was doing with the camera, because when I was very, very young, I think 11 or 12, my parents got me a camcorder for my birthday, and I love that thing. I started doing mini films, and this is when YouTube wasn't even really like significant. Like YouTube was around, but it wasn't like super, super huge at the time. So I didn't even.
I don't know why, but when you talk about YouTube being new, all of a sudden, for no reason, into my head popped, oh my God, shoes. And
Like the shoes song? Because I know exactly
Yeah.
that reference. You're
I
doing.
don't know that.
Shoes. Let's get some shoes. Like
Yeah.
that one? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Very,
familiar.
very few people know that reference. So whenever it pops off, I'm like, oh my God, you saw that video?
You don't know that one?
A little bit of internet history for you.
I
kids.
grew
Oh my
up on
God,
Smosh.
shoes.
We'll send it to you,
Smosh.
Taylor.
It
Oh,
definitely
I've seen
sends it to
Smosh
me.
too.
Still
Smosh is
relevant,
good too.
still active, so it's good. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, just when I got
16
that.
Sorry, Taylor. 16 years ago, 6.5 million views.
Oh my
Still kicking.
God.
Still the first thing you look up. Okay, carry on. I'll send it to you.
Definitely send it to me. Yeah. So I can definitely relate, because you get that camera and you just start going to town doing things with it, and yeah, it's awesome. Just the magic and the inventiveness that kind of can be attached to that. When all you have is a camera and you really start to work movie magic. When I was young with my cousins, we did so many fun, just different takes and using the camera for different angles and scenes, just to really emphasize what we were capable of doing. And it's just really, really fun how that imagination is captured in this, and I just seeing the different things unfold in this story just look like it's going to be a very sentimental and very very good journey. So I'm very excited and looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
The
Jessica
picture.
wasn't laughing at you, Taylor, by the way. I sent the video in the
Just
Geekverse. Maybe
the
I'll even throw it on the
screenshot
Discord.
of
So
it.
listeners that are curious, you can go watch yourself.
It's quality old school entertainment. Because you have it open. What year was that from? Sorry,
It just said
2006.
16 years ago. So quick
16
maths.
years ago.
May 5th, 2006.
Wow.
That's crazy. In my mind, I always thought YouTube was like a 2008 thing, but clearly this video was already out. 2006.
So anyway, yes.
Fablemans. Yeah.
Fablemans. So looking up kind of some information about it, because I was like, this seems like a fun movie. I enjoyed the idea of, wants to be a filmmaker, but what did they, creativity versus science or something like that they said was their household. And so I was looking it up, and apparently it's a semi-autobiography about Spielberg himself. So
okay.
I think that's a super fun concept to kind of see some of that history. And I enjoy Spielberg, and I mean, he is one of, if not, the greatest directors of kind of this generation, and kind of some previous huge movies he's done, right? So I think this is going to be a really great movie.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
It's already getting it's got a 9 out of 10 IMDb, 96 on Rotten Tomatoes, so reviews coming out for it are already like amazingly high, great. And the release date for this is November 11th. So, we're close. So I'm excited for this one. I think it'll be a fun watch. It is, 2.5 hours, which, for kind of a semi autobiography is a lot. So I am interested to see how the pacing and everything for it goes. But overall, I'm going to definitely check this one out.
Nice. Yeah. I didn't look it up, but I was curious if this was set like based on a true story or something, because it very much has that feel. And if it is Spielberg, it makes a lot of sense, obviously. Travis likes to say that like Spielberg hasn't made a great movie in a long time, but like, man, that name alone is just so iconic. It made some of the biggest and just most important movies probably like of our era. So yeah, I really, really like this concept. I like the pieces in it. Gabriel LaBelle, I think, is the boy's name, like the lead. Haven't seen him in anything, but I love Paul Dano, as I was mentioning. Michelle Williams, I really, really like her too. And I didn't get like any negative vibes at all from this trailer. Like I don't see how this like couldn't be a stellar movie. If it's coming out November 11th and like we already have like scores like that, now, always got a grain of salt. Those IMDb reviews can be pretty wild sometimes, but nevertheless, if they're already getting reviews for it, clearly they feel confident with it. And yeah, from seeing it, I would imagine it's shown at. Oh, sorry.
IGN also gave it a 9 out of 10. If you trust that more than IMDb.
I hate them all. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, like just give her the trailers. Like I have no reason to like discount that rating at all, other than the 3 letters attached to it, IGN. So yeah, and it's, as Nikita shouted out, it's being played at the Toronto International Film Festival this past weekend. So. That's probably where a lot of that love and buzz is going around. But yeah, it just looks like a really great coming of age story. Seth Rogen's in here. Kind of threw me off when I saw him on there like talking to the kid, and he didn't have his laugh. He didn't have any like joke or anything. It was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I just think this is gonna be like a really heartfelt movie that like really just hopefully makes you feel good. And yeah, there's obviously a lot of noises in the background. No, there's a lot. There's a lot of like racism and stuff towards like Jewish people and like the anti-Semitic like mindset. And from what it was shown in the trailer, that's obviously going to be like a big thing because the family is Jewish. I mean, it's shown at the beginning like they don't celebrate like Christmas as everyone else, and I feel like that's going to be a really interesting what's the best way to describe it, situation, I guess, that the boy has to deal with, like balancing his own family, because clearly they are somewhat of a happy family. They're not like yelling at each other constantly, and just what he really wants to do with his life and what his mom wants for him. So I'm very much excited for this movie, and I probably heard of it but to this point, but like seeing this trailer, it's like, oh wow, this is really on my radar. Yeah. It's at Thanksgiving though, and I hate when things do that, like that, like, oh, coming Thanksgiving. It's just like, there's 2 Thanksgiving, man. You have to specify. Yeah.
So far away.
It's like September, bro.
It's not in Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's November. It's Remembrance Day. Come on, that's not Thanksgiving. But damn you Yanks down south. No, I'm kidding. We love you. Moving along, unless anyone has any final thoughts on the Fablemans. Going once, going thrice, sold to me, because I'm going to be talking about the School for Good and Evil. And I'm taking this one first because this one, when I first saw that like teaser trailer, I was just like, what the fuck is this? This is just Harry Potter knockoff on Netflix. Like they're just trying to like copy this, we got some big names in here. But I don't know. I really wasn't like sold at all. And god damn, do I feel the opposite now after seeing this trailer. And I must say, like, it didn't show, or it, let me rephrase that. It did show like some things that we've already seen in previous trailers. But the things that they showed in this trailer, I don't know, maybe I was just in a bad mindset or something when I saw that first teaser, because this one, like, it really got me not excited, but it's like, okay, we're going to be watching this like right away in my household. It helps a lot that like just seeing this, I'm like, this is exactly Shay's type of Netflix consumption because she loves those Netflix originals. Yeah, she watches like majority of the ones that come out, and this one, it's totally in her wheelhouse, and it's like, okay, even I am like kind of digging this, just like the CGI of the creatures and stuff that they showed, like all of like the quality, it looks fantastic in my mind. Again, it's a trailer, maybe they're like just really making it look good for that purpose, but it looks yeah, in my mind it looks really great. And it's a movie. I kind of had to remind myself that it's not a TV series. It just feels like it should be a TV series. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it fits the criteria of what they've already had on like Netflix TV series before. So like seeing this, it's like, okay, this must be a series, but it's not. And I hope that the pacing's really good. I hope, again, a lot of hopes in these thoughts, because I've seen some really bad Netflix movies in the past. But yeah, no, I am definitely thumbs up on this specific trailer. I don't think it's gonna blow me away and be like my top 10 movie of the year or anything like that. And top 10, like that sounds pretty low, but like this year has been insane for movies. So like my top 10 list is extremely hard to formulate up until this point, but who knows? Maybe this will majorly surprise me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, honestly. Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Move along. No, I'm kidding. You guys are ducking.
How about it, Jessica?
So the first time I was supposed to watch one of these trailers, I don't know what happened, but I obviously completely zoned out and was just kind of like, okay, yeah, it exists. This time I was just like, okay, I am super excited for this. And I ended up doing a little bit of reading about it because I was like, this actually looks super fun. And a lot of people are saying that every scene in the trailer is taken from a book. Like it seems like it's going to be a really good adaptation. And so basically the concept is it's like every 4 years two people are taken from this village and brought to the school to be trained to either be a villain or good guy, obviously good and evil. And so basically there's two best friends that are taken and one becomes good and one becomes evil. And so this is about their kind of year at this school. And it's really, yes, I can see the Harry Potter, but it's also kind of got those, what's the show where they did, it's like The Descendants, kind of that Disney spin-off show. No, neither of you guys. It's all good.
I think I know. I picture like the logo, but I haven't seen it or anything.
Yeah, it's
like
kind
the
of
kids of like the villains, the signature
Yeah.
Disney villains. Okay, my cousin, I believe, was an extra in one of those movies.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Did he have a GeekVerse shirt on?
I told him to throw business cards out in his scene.
Put them in pockets. Get this kid out of here. He's putting business cards in our pockets.
So I think that this is going to be a really fun movie. I don't think that once you get into it and start watching it, that it's going to have this Harry Potter vibe that people keep kind of saying it's going to have. I think it will take on its own world and its own feelings. I'm excited for it. I think it's a really fun concept. Apparently, there is, I think it was 5 or 6 books, and it goes on and follows the girl that does good all the way until she becomes like a queen. And so I'm hoping that this takes off and we actually get another one. I hope it's great because I think that this is a fun kind of world and a fun concept to be a part of. And I'm excited to see where they go with it. And I think that this is one where if it does do really good, you could expand into that universe, right? It doesn't just have to be about these two people that are from the book. You could do a lot with it.
Yeah. Look at that. S-Bubs in the chat. I think they actually announced Descendants 4 at D23. There you go, Jessica.
S-Bubs knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Big Descendants fan. S-Bubs. No, I don't know. I don't know about that. Good feeling. GeekVerse podcast.
Yeah,
Show your true quality.
I honestly thought this was a show watching the trailer, and like you, Kirklin, I had to remind myself, like, oh no, okay, this is a movie, interesting. But yeah, I like the concept of, good and evil, and just seeing the kind of like the craziness, because it definitely had this whole fantasy vibe going on with some crazy animals and stuff like that. And yeah, like I'm not sure how much I have to add, because I was never super into like that Descendants kind of vibe or anything. Like, as my limit for this kind of thing, I feel like is probably capped with Harry Potter, as far as like going to a school and indulging in like all this like magical content. I feel like that's Harry Potter. So if I'm looking at this and then I'm looking at Harry Potter, it's like, well, I want to go watch Harry Potter. And no flack against this. If we're gonna review it, I am totally there for the fans. I'm there to give my spaghetti and meatballs. So
Hell
we'll
yeah.
see. Oh yeah, we'll see if we do review it. We do talk about it, and I very well could end up liking it, and that's always pleasantly surprising and exciting, because I like when I go into something and I like it, which is usually the case with most things. So
Not Halo.
Well, this is just straight to Netflix, so it's not like you have to pay at least to go and see it.
Exactly. Nice and easy.
I gotta
October
pay
19th.
2 hours of my life in exchange for this content.
That is the
So-
most precious commodity. Is that the right word for that? I don't think
It's a
so.
brutal way to put it, but it's acceptable.
Yeah. Absolutely. There you go. That wraps up our final trailers. Nikita, I don't think any of us have seen X, unfortunately. We probably will talk about that news in a future newscast, but Travis isn't here, and he's the only one that's seen X. If you guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Ty West, I apologize, I don't know how to say their name. T.I. is their first name. West announced the final installment in his trilogy, Maxine. So they had X, and the next one, Pearl, is coming out. And then now today they just released a teaser for the next one, which I believe will be coming out like 1980, like way back in the day. So they're all like prequel movies. So it's really fun when they do that concept. Fear Street, is that the Netflix one, right?
That's the Netflix one.
Yeah, so it's fun when they do that. So yeah, we'll be talking about that in the future at some point in time, but not today because none of us have seen X. That's it, lady and gentlemen, not plural. Thanks for joining me. That was lots of fun.
Oh, thank you. for
Well,
having
what
me.
about?
Oh yeah,
there's
we have
two
an
more
S
things.
Bubs question. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, going back to our favorite guy in the chair, S Bubs. Let me get my notes. I lost your question already. Oh yeah, did any of these trailers get you excited or like change your mind on like your previous thoughts of? Let me actually read it. Did any of these trailers get you excited about a movie or show you weren't excited for before? S Bubs on our Patreon. Go join our Patreon. You can post a question at any time, and we will answer it on our next episode. Taylor Field, you go now.
I like looking at them. I'd probably say the most hyped I was probably with National Treasure or Santa Clauses. I'm probably be a little biased and lean more to National Treasure simply because I just came off of this marathon and I'm ready to keep being invested in that world. So that's where my allegiances lie.
Yeah. Absolutely. I made a fibby again. I've also forgot some trailers.
Trailers.
I am a mess today. I forgot about Inside Out 2. That's not really a trailer. It's more just news. I haven't seen Inside Out, so you guys take it away.
Well, there was a teaser for it. I wouldn't really
Was
call
there?
it a trailer.
Was it a
Yeah.
I
teaser?
missed that.
Yeah, and it was announced that there's going to be 2 new emotions added, and I was actually going to ask what you guys thought those new 2 emotions would be.
Oh.
What's considered a new core emotion?
So not like a video teaser, just like a little written thing to get us
No, like
scratch at the bit.
No, it was a
They did? Like a little visual something?
yeah.
Oh, I apologize. I
It's okay.
did not
It's okay.
prepare for that news. I am going to assume because who's the main
It was
like
released
girl?
1 day ago. Teaser trailer.
Oh, okay. What's the girl's name? Like our
Riley.
Riley. I'm assuming Riley's a little bit older now. Maybe there's gonna be a horny emotion or something
She's
like that. That could
12.
be now.
In this new one, she's 12.
Oh, okay, so hopefully there's no horny emotion. I thought she was gonna be like 16 or something. I'm like, oh, that's a given. That's gonna be in there. No, I'm not too sure because yeah, they lost Mindy Kaling and Bill Hader. I imagine they just wanted some money and they weren't providing it for, as Taylor mentioned, their time is worth a lot. So maybe that's why they're just passing along for them. But yeah, what would this do for you? 2.
I'm excited for it. I really liked Inside Out. I think it's a great movie. I know it's been used in a lot of like childhood development to be able to teach kids how to recognize and verbalize what their emotions are. So, as I've kind of talked about, my one child has definitely some neurodivergency. So for me, this is a great movie, and I'm super excited to see what they do with this next one. And I'm interested to see what exactly they're adding as these new kind of emotions. Um, and some of the things too, I don't know how much you kind of know about it. Like the original one, they tailored it so, in North America, kids are supposed to hate broccoli. So, at one point when Riley's trying to have these food aversions, it's to broccoli. But um, Asian states, it's peppers. So they're trying to feed her red peppers or green peppers. So there's, they do little things like that. And I'm excited to see what they add into this one. Yeah, overall, like I said, there wasn't really much to it. It was just kind of talking about her age and that there's new emotions coming. But I'm definitely super excited for this one.
Yeah. S Bub's in the chat. He's saying all these recently released tasers for Inside Out 2 on YouTube are fan made.
There we go.
They get the best of
thanks,
us.
S-Bub, for
I fell
setting
for
me
a
straight.
Venom. I fell for a Venom fan made trailer. I know we talked about it on After 9 once upon a time. And that's where we discovered the other Venom movie that we'll probably watch at some point in time in the Geekverse. Taylor, big Inside Out fan?
No, not really. I've watched it a few times. Like in terms of like childhood development, my go-to to handle my emotions was just pop on the Call of Duty and just vent a little bit.
Yeah.
Intervention on Rust, throwing knives, quick scope. But I mean, modern day, kids can't be playing those kind of games. Kids, they need to properly vent their emotions and understand them. And I think a movie like this is fantastic for a coming of age kind of individual that doesn't know how to handle themselves. So I think this is definitely a prime experience for them to look and watch and understand and relate with. Less violent as well, which is always good.
Always.
And yeah, just kind of help with an understanding. I'm sure I'll watch it and be like, oh shit, I forgot about these emotions. And, my future kids, they'll be able to look at this and be like, yeah, my kid's got these emotions at this point in time. This is good. As far as what the new emotions are that they're going to be experiencing as they're a teenager, I was trying to think back as to what like I was experiencing.
No, you had horny emotion.
No horniness, just like calm, silent.
It's not
pensive.
Emotion.
Yeah, they're not. They're
Pensive,
more like
maybe.
attributes.
I don't really know what that means, but go on.
Just yeah, I couldn't really like figure out anything that really kind of like stands out. So I don't know what you're going through when you're like. I mean, I feel like my 16-year-old days. Sorry, this is 12-year-old. Yeah, when I was 12, I was going through very different times than I feel like they're going to be representing in this movie. So it's hard for me to relate. Needless to say, yeah, let's have it. Initially, I thought it was going to be called Outside In, and we just disproved that name. It's going to be Inside Out 2. So yeah,
Inside Out 2 has a better ring to it than Outside.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, Shay doesn't like this movie, and I haven't seen it. So anytime I'm like, "Oh, let's watch Inside Out," she's like, "No, I'm not watching that." So I have to find a quiet time to watch that alone when she's at work, like I had to do with Uncut Gems. Finally threw that movie on after a long time coming. All right, so no further things on Inside Out 2, I would imagine. Moving on to our last one. Oh yeah, they're doing. This isn't a trailer, and neither was that. So this is continuing with that theme. They're doing supposedly a remake of the Strangers movies, and they're doing a trilogy. Any Strangers fans out there amongst us? Oh, two big head nods. All right, take us away, someone.
Do it, Jessica.
She's like reaching a drink. Come on, Taylor. You
Wow.
do this
I
for
didn't know.
fun.
I didn't know she's reaching. I didn't see.
Oh,
the
you were
straw
staring at her. And
until
you're like, I'm gonna wait
after.
till she reaches.
Take your
Son of a
gulp,
bitch.
Jessica. I got you. Yes, I was indoctrinated into Strangers when it might have been like a good 7 years ago when I saw that first one, and watched it alone because I was just looking for a horror movie, and it was just very isolated, claustrophobic. Really liked it, and the second one felt more, of course, open and much more widespread, but still felt claustrophobic nonetheless. And I like that. It's definitely wasn't as hype as that first one was, being so freaky for what it was able to do. But I'm very much intrigued to see how they can tackle, like you said, it was a remake.
It just said new trilogy, so not
New
a
trilogy.
remake. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a remake, just new
But
trilogy.
it says Strangers Remake Trilogy.
Oh, okay.
I'm down to see what they can kind of whip up, because I think it's definitely it's a vibe, and it's an icon that I think could be very prominent and should kind of stick around for a little bit of time, because I think it went under the radar. A lot of people probably missed it back in the day, so I think it needs to kind of have a little bit of a resurgence, and make some a little bit more of like a stronger foothold with the next generation.
Yeah. SPub says, from what he's heard, this trilogy is more of a relaunch or reboot rather than a remake. Too many re's in there for me. Yeah, I'll go next because I haven't seen. Is it just 2 that they did?
2.
2. Okay, I've only seen the first one, and this movie actually like scarred me a little bit, honestly, because I remember I was at my grandma's house and we were watching, I think I put on like Batman Begins or something, and she's just like almost passing out next to me, like I'm like, we're supposed to be watching this movie together, and she's like, I can't watch, this is so boring, like put on The Strangers or something, I won't fall asleep on that. And I don't remember my age, but for the sake of the story, I'm just gonna say I was like 7 years old, so like pretty young, and like my grandma's just like, and again maybe I was like 14 or something, but for the sake of the story I'm going with 7. So she's like, no, you have to throw The Strangers, and I'm like, no, like we can't watch that. It's a scary movie. Oh, you got like the date, don't you? You know exactly what age I was when this one was out.
2008. So I mean,
You're cracking
feel
up
like
a little
you-
there. What'd you say? Sorry.
came out in 2008 for the first one. So I feel
Okay.
like you were not born in 2001 to my knowledge.
No,
Right.
but for the sake of story, I was 7 years
Okay.
old. Very young lad, and I was like very hesitant, but probably at that time I like thought I could handle like scary movies, but I'm like, this is scary, like I'm not gonna be able to do this. And then we put it on, and holy shit, I was like sweaty watching it, like totally terrified. It even had that thing where it's like, I don't even remember what it says, but like loosely based on like a true something or rather, where it's like the story isn't like a direct thing, but it's like there's some things that like inspired it to one way, shape, or form. So in my mind, I'm like, this is a documentary. I'm watching a real story right now as a wee lad, and just like the scariest things are happening. You know, they're fucking with the insides. I won't spoil too much if you haven't seen the movie. It's phenomenal, so go check it out. And then I like look over to my right, and my grandma's just passed out. She said she'd stay awake to watch the movie, but no, she's just completely passed out. So I watched All the Strangers alone. It was like daylight too, but like still I like couldn't go downstairs by myself. Like I was just so scared. It was also in that time where I felt like I wasn't having like nightmares anymore, and then I had like a nightmare because of this movie. I thought the strangers were like coming to get me, and yeah, just that like concept of just like you're home alone watching Family Guy or something, and there's just like a man in a burlap sack like outside your window. Like that whole concept just scared the shit out of me. So definitely left a lasting impression. Never ever watched the second one. I don't know why, but I'm interested in a trilogy reboot. I feel like it won't ever have that same oomph that obviously this first experience had, because like I said, in my mind I was pretty young, so I was terrified, and I just thought this was like a real story. I thought this was like something that just happened, which I mean, fuck, it probably has at some point in time. There's a lot of fucked up people in the world, but yeah, I don't know.
Like
Just
I can guess why you never watched the second one based on your story.
what gives you that thought? Yeah, and so honestly, like for majority of my life, I was like, The Strangers is the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. Like I was spitting that to people, but I don't know. Hearing this news, I'm not like that excited for it. Like, and it's not even like I was just terrified from the first one. It's just like, okay, I feel like because I thought it was like a real story, I was so like, holy shit, like this is terrifying. But now it's like they're doing a remake trilogy. It's like, can we have like an original concept now? Like I know what's gonna happen, so I don't know. For me, it didn't push me in any direction. But that's my long drawn out story that I feel like I thought I said on the podcast at one point or rather, but I didn't. So there you go. S Bubs in the chat. Grandparents always recommend the most random movies. My parents told me to watch Rampage a while back. Thought they might have been saying the wrong movie name, but they meant the big gorilla one. They must be big rock fans.
That's definitely a grandparent movie suggestion I could see.
The Rampage?
Yeah, I feel like.
And they're probably thinking of like
grandparents-
Jungle Book or something, or Jungle Cruise, like any of the Rock movie. They just thought it
Oh,
was this
yeah.
one.
Yeah, it must be one the grandkids will like.
Yeah, I'm in the Strangers, like the OG one, top tier horror.
Oh.
Absolutely loved it. Scared the shit out of me when I watched it. You know, some of those scenes where you're just watching the main character, you know, just in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden you notice in the background the guy's just standing
Ugh.
there, just not doing anything, just watching her. And then, you know, with no sound or without saying anything, he just turns and walks away, and you're just like, holy fudge, like what's gonna happen? That movie, yeah, I think I saw it in theaters when it first came out.
Ugh.
And yeah, and you know, so what? 2000, what did I say, 2008?
Mm-hmm. Were you
I don't know
7
how
like
old
me?
I don't know how old that made me. What, like 16 or whatever? So I think I went with my boyfriend at the time, and like partway through I was just like, you know, okay, whoa, like we gotta watch this movie. It's, you know, not just teenagers in a movie anymore. Like, I'm watching this.
Same
Taylor.
emotions are Riley. Horny emotions are flowing.
Yeah, not anymore. Now that I know it's a good movie. So I've watched it multiple times since. I absolutely love it. That being said, I never watched the second one, and I don't know that I'll rush out to watch these. I think I'm in the same boat as Kirklin, where it's just, it has, you know, that feeling and the emotion of what is happening, and you know, the idea of it being a realistic thing. But once you start having 3 movies of these people in mass terrorizing a house, I mean, I guess it's like a normal serial killer type thing, but it just kind of, I don't know, from what I can see of pictures online, they're like fighting the mass killers in a pool in the second one. Like, it just feels like we've gone from
Nice.
creepy, scary movie to, you know, just kind of out to left field. So for me, definitely not, you know, top of the list to watch as soon as it comes out, but I will be interested to see how they get rated, what critics think of it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's so Lionsgate from director Rennie Harlan and then here's the cast. Madeline Petch. She is from Riverdale. Froy Gutierrez, Gabriel Basso. Those are some of the names, the contenders, the players in the game. And yeah, to go back to S-Bob's original question, like I said, I mean, I kind of mentioned it as we are going through the trailers. Like, I definitely, School for Good and Evil was that effect that I was so just writing off that movie. I didn't give a shit about it. And then this previous one really changed me around for it. Little Mermaid even as well. Like, I it's not like I didn't give a shit for it. It was just like, okay, let's see what happens. And that trailer, like, really, it's not even a trailer. It's a teaser, but it's like, yeah, I'm down for this. This is awesome. So definitely had that effect. And then Percy Jackson kind of had the opposite effect for me. But clearly I was in the wrong, because as Bob mentioned, it's completely pulled from the book. You don't know how to read there, Kirkland. No, that's not how he talks. Yeah. Any other trailers to answer S Bub's question there, Taylor? I think Jessica already went. Unless I'm
I already
totally
went
mistaken. Okay. And with that being said, we're going to wrap up this newcast before someone else comes and be like, well, you forgot to talk about this. So yeah, thanks for joining, Jessica and Taylor. That was lots of fun, little trio. I feel like I haven't led a cast in a while, and it clearly shows because I've been all over the place.
You did good.
But thanks, Taylor. So yeah, tune in next time for all your good content. Promise you it will not be boring. Goodbye.
Bye.